everyone in our community while we were dancing. That was so much fun. My heart is already beating nice and fast. So I think to get started, we can just go ahead and have a seat. So a couple things you'll want to make sure you have near you: a mat or a towel, or even just a carpeted area, someplace where you can move around a lot. And if you are someone who prefers to practice in a chair, make sure you have a chair. If you are practicing in a chair, we're going to be spending a lot of time like down on our mat, sort of in tabletop position, for example, and leaning side to side. So you're going to want blocks or large books or Christmas presents that are nice and sturdy, anything that you have near you. If you are in a chair, that's going to be something you want. So when we bring our hands down in front, you have it there. And when we lean out to the side, you can put it to this side. So look around, grab something if you need it. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and, when you're all set up, we're going to be on our knees a lot. So I have a blanket down for my knees because they're a little sensitive, but you don't necessarily need to have a blanket. You can if you would like. So the first thing I would like us to do is connect with our breath. So you might bring your hands to your belly, you might bring them to your ribs, or you might relax them down, and we're just going to notice our breath. So if you like to feel that breath, you might bring your hands in and feel it come in and out. And you might be breathing a little quickly because you just got up and danced. So just notice that. There's no right or wrong way to be. And then when you're ready, starting to deepen that breath. Lengthening your inhales, breathe in really deep through the nose. And sigh it out. And again. And you might keep breathing out of the mouth, or if both nostrils are available to you this winter season, you might breathe in and out just through the nose, if that feels good. That can be a little more calming for our nervous system sometimes, in and out through the nose. And then go ahead and relax your hands down wherever they fall. And then we're going to bring our arms out to the side, and like we're moving through water in super, super slow motion, we're going to bring our hands up really slow, as slow as you can, because I want us to imagine that we are gathering a bunch of positive energy from the universe until your hands are all the way up here. And then bend your elbows and stick your arms out to the side like you're a cactus in the desert. And now imagine that you are sending that positive energy out to everyone you just saw dancing in our community here, everyone who's here with us tonight. So just send that positive energy out. You might wave your hands a little bit. Good. And sweep the arms out and up again. You can go a little quicker. And then bring the hands to touch. And then nice and slow, bring them down in front of the heart. And imagine that all that energy that our friends just sent our way, we're just going to pull some of that in. We're going to feel it, feel that energy sent to us. Let's do that a couple more times. So with our breath, inhale the arms out and up, collect some of that positive energy. Exhale, cactus the arms, send that energy out to our friends here tonight. Inhale the arms out and up. Palms touch. Exhale, pull that energy in. Feel all that good energy that was just sent your way. Last time, inhale the arms out and up. Collect those good vibes. Exhale, cactus the arms, send them out. Inhale, arms out and up. Palms touch, and exhale, bring it in. Bring that energy in. And keeping our hands at heart center briefly here, while we start to get moving, I want us to imagine that all that energy we just pulled in and sent to each other, imagine it's kind of floating around your space tonight. So as we move and as we flow from side to side, you're just kind of pushing this energy one way or another. Imagine you could really feel it around you. I want us to feel connected to one another this evening. So when we're ready, inhaling the arms out and up again, we're gonna bend over to one side. So as you exhale, just go ahead and drop one arm either way and lean over. Good, and then inhaling back up to center and exhaling, lean the other way. So one hand comes down, it might come down to your chair or to the floor, and we're just leaning over. Let's do that one more each side. Deep breath in, arms up, and exhale, lean over to one side. Good. Deep breath in, arms up, and exhale, lean over the other way. We're gonna keep our nice deep breaths going, but we are gonna work hard today. So inhaling both arms back up to center, we're gonna twist over one way. So bring the front hand to your knee, your back hand behind you. And unwind, inhale up through center. Exhale, twist the other direction. Finding a nice light twist. We don't want to force anything. Inhaling back up through center. We'll go to the first side again, so twisting that one direction. And unwind, inhale, arms up. And exhale, twist the second direction. Great. Inhaling the arms back through center and relax them down. And from here, if you're down on your mat, go ahead and come onto your knees. And we're going to move through some kneeling sun salutations. So if you've come to some of my other classes, we've done different variations of sun salutations. There are so many, so I don't think we've done this one before. If you're on your chair, go ahead and take a nice high seat in your chair and bring your blocks or other objects in front of you for you to put your hands down on for this. Because we're going to spend a lot of time on our hands and knees here. So I'll turn to the side so you can see me a little bit better. So from your kneeling position here, bring your hands to heart center. And I'll move through the first one nice and slow. And I'm going to cue your inhales and exhales, but if at any time that feels like too much or you don't want to follow the inhales and exhales, feel free to just take deep breaths on your own. You can just ignore the breath cues if that works better for you. So go ahead and inhale your arms out and up from your kneeling position, and you're going to come high up on your knees. And as you exhale, you're going to plant your hands down in front of you, coming into hands and knees tabletop position. And then we're going to inhale, drop the belly, arch the back. You might look up. And exhale, round the spine, push the floor away, head comes down. And then inhale, walk the hands back, sweep the arms up, we're high on our knees. Exhale, hands to heart center, and we sit back on our feet. So I know that was kind of a lot. We're gonna do that several more times. So hands at heart center. Inhale, come high on the knees, or if you're in your chair, you're following with the upper body. Exhale, plant the hands down. We're coming into hands and knees, tabletop position. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, round the spine, push the floor away. Inhale, walk the hands in, come up high, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center, and we sit back down. You all look great. Inhale, high on the knees, arms out and up. Exhale, plant the hands down. We're in table position. Your hands might be on the blocks if you're in your chair. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, push the floor away, round the spine, drop the head. Inhale, walk the hands back, sweep the arms out and up. We're high on our knees. Exhale, hands to heart center as we sit back. Let's do it again. Inhale, high on the knees, arms out and up. Exhale, plant the hands for tabletop. Inhale, cow position, drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, cat, push the floor away, round the spine. Inhale, walk the hands back, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center as we sit back down. Great. Let's do one more of those. Inhale, high on the knees, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, plant the hands down for tabletop. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, round the spine, push the floor away. Inhale, walk the hands back, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, hands heart center as we sit back. Very good. So go ahead and come high on our knees. We're done with our kneeling sun salutations for now. And we're gonna set up for gate pose. So from your kneeling position, or if you're in your chair from your seated position, you're just gonna stick one leg out to the side. So you might bring your hands down to help you with that, or you might just put a leg out to the side here. And that foot's gonna be flat on the floor. So you're on one knee and you have one straight leg. You can mirror me if you want. We're gonna have either side, whatever is easiest for you. Great, so we have one leg out to the side. And if you are in your chair, go ahead and bring your blocks out to the side of your chair because we're gonna be moving from side to side. So you're gonna want to be able to put your hands on the blocks. So from our one straight leg, go ahead and bring the arms out to the sides. And then just kind of tick-tock tilt over towards your long leg here, towards your extended leg. And only lean over. You're gonna feel a nice stretch in your side body. So only lean over as far as you can keep your nice deep breaths going. So if you're way down here, but you're holding your breath, that's not where we wanna be necessarily. Have a nice side stretch, but keep our nice deep breaths going. Good. And then coming back through center. So that was our gate pose. Now we're gonna just tilt the other way. So we're gonna slowly tilt down towards the floor, away from our long leg. And we're just gonna put one palm on the ground and reach the other hand up towards the ceiling. This is our modified side plank. So we're gonna flow between these two yoga poses today. So you might want to bring your hands to the floor to get yourself back to center if that feels better. Or you might just use those side abs here, those obliques, and pull yourself right up. So whichever way feels good for you, if you want to walk the hands on the floor or if you want to just tilt side to side. So go ahead and bring your hands out to the side and we're going to flow. So take a deep breath in, sit up tall. Exhale into our gate pose. So coming over this extended leg, nice big stretch just for this breath. Great, and inhaling back through center. And exhaling, we're gonna put one hand on the ground and reach the other arm up. Great job. Inhaling back through center. Remember, you can always walk your hands on the floor if that feels better. Exhale over to our gate pose, over our long leg. Inhaling back through center. Yeah, we're working now. Exhaling, hand to the floor or to your block. Other hand comes up to the sky. And again, inhaling through center. And exhale into our gate pose. Feel a nice side stretch here. And inhale through center. Exhale to the floor into our modified side plank here. You might start to bring your arm up over your side if you want a side stretch on this side too, or you might keep it up to the ceiling. Let's do what feels good. Next inhale, come up. Last gate pose on this side. Exhale into your gate pose. Inhale back through center. Exhale, come down to the floor or to your block into our modified side plank. We're gonna pause here. Go ahead and bring that arm up over your ear if that feels good. And then ever so slightly start to lift your heel off the floor of your long leg. And then can you lift the toes off the floor? You can hover there, or you can bring the leg straight out if that feels good. Just a tiny bit off the floor. You can keep your toe on the floor if that feels a little more steady. But we're just gonna hold it here for 3 more breaths. 2, 1. And set that leg down. Whew. Inhaling back up to center. And exhaling, pull that leg in. Extend our other leg straight. So again, if you're in your chair, This just looks like one leg coming out to the side and your blocks are on the side and you're flowing between just like that. So on the floor, let's set up for gate pose on this side. Bring your hands out to either side of you. And just go ahead and tick-tock over into your gate pose. So over that nice long leg, that foot is on the floor, and you're just gonna feel a nice side stretch on the outside of your body where you're leaning over. Making sure you can keep your deep breaths here. Should feel a little bit of a stretch, but it shouldn't hurt. If it hurts, you wanna come back up. All right, and then come back through the center. So bring our hands out to the side. And just like the other side here, we're just gonna drop over the other way and bring our hand to the floor outside of our kneeling knee. And again, this hand can be up towards the ceiling. You can stretch it over your ear if you wanna be super stretchy on this side. Just do what feels good. And this is our modified side plank on this side. And we can always walk the hands in the middle to move side to side for those of us on the floor if that feels good. Otherwise, go ahead and come back up to center. Challenge yourself though. See if you can use those side muscles. See if we can work hard like that. Bring our hands out to the sides and we're just gonna flow with our breath. So deep breath in. Exhale over our long leg into our gate pose. Nice stretch here. Inhale back through center. Exhale, hand to the floor or to your block. Modified side plank. Inhale back through center. Exhale, gate pose over our long leg. Inhaling back through center. Exhale, hands to the floor, modified side plank. Really great. Inhale back through center. Exhale, gate pose, so we're over our long leg. Inhale back through center. Exhale, modified side plank here. Let's do one more gate pose. So inhale, center. Exhale into our gate. Inhale, center. Hand comes down to the floor for a modified side plank. Bring your arm over your ear. Feel a really nice stretch on your side here. And then can we start to lift the heel off the floor? Start to lift the toes off the floor. Can we hover here? And maybe you can bring your leg up a little higher, or you can hover it down. You can keep your toe down if it feels like too much. But see where you are. A couple more breaths here. 2, 1. And set that leg down, set that foot down, and come back through center. And then go ahead and bring both knees back underneath you. Oh, and take a nice breath there. So we should be pretty well heated up here. Let's see, let me see my notes real quick. Okay, so we're gonna come back into our tabletop position. So I'll turn to the side so you can see me a little bit better. So high on your knees, crawl your hands forward. We're back in our tabletop position. And I'm gonna give you a challenge option here. So you can stay in tabletop. If you want to challenge yourself, you might tuck your toes and lift your hips into your downward dog. So you're in an upside down V shape. If you're in your chair, your hands are on the blocks and you're leaning forward into a tabletop position that way. So from your tabletop or your downward dog, whichever one you would like to do, go ahead and lift one knee out to the side. And when you're ready, start to make some nice big knee circles. So if you're in your chair, and keep going with the knee circles, if you're in your chair, you might want to sit back up and make some knee circles this way. That might be a little easier. I'll make some nice big knee circles and then switch directions. So like you're drawing a circle in the air with your knee. And if you're in the challenge position in your downward dog, it's gonna look a little more like this. So just make some nice big circles. Either tabletop or downward dog. Tabletop's gonna be a little easier. And then when you're ready, that same knee that we were just working, straighten your leg back out behind you. So your leg is gonna be lifted off the ground. And if you're in your downward dog, it's gonna be like this. Much harder. And take a deep breath in with that leg out behind you. And as you exhale, I want you to bring your knee way under you towards your nose, as though you were gonna bonk it on your nose or maybe give it a kiss. Good. Inhaling it back out straight. And exhaling knee to nose. If you're in your chair, bringing your knee to your nose that way as well. Make sure it's touching your nose lightly and you're not kicking yourself in the face. Inhale back to straight. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, straighten that leg behind you. Exhale, knee to nose. And the last time with our leg out straight behind us, go ahead and bend that knee so our foot is facing the ceiling, like we're gonna stand on the ceiling. And you can hold here, or you can start to pulse that leg towards the ceiling. And we're just gonna do this. 3, 2, 1. Good. Straighten that leg out behind you and drop that knee down to the floor. And we're just gonna do that on the other side. So I'll switch sides so you can see me a little more clearly here. So the same thing on this side. We're really gonna work these legs today. So just go ahead and bring that leg out to the side with a bent knee. If you're in your downward dog, it's gonna look more like this. And if you're in your chair, sitting up straight, making those knee circles and knee to nose that way. Go ahead and draw some circles in the air with your knee, whichever direction feels best. We're working our other knee now. Drawing some big circles in the air from your tabletop or from your downward dog. And then go ahead and switch directions for your circles. You're all looking really great. We're working hard today. Switching directions with our circles. Do a few more this way. Good. And then go ahead and straighten that leg out behind you so that leg is lifted. If you're in your chair, it's lifted straight out in front of you. Take a deep breath in with this leg out behind you. And you're gonna exhale your knee very slowly towards your nose. It might touch, or you might just curl it in all together. Inhale, straighten it out behind you or in front of you if you're in your chair. Exhale, bring the knee towards your nose, just like you're about to give it a kiss. Inhale your leg back behind you. Exhale, knee to nose. If you're in your challenge position, it's gonna look like this. Inhale, leg out behind you. Exhale, knee to nose. This is how it looks in downward dog. Inhale that leg out behind you. Exhale, knee to nose. Last time, leg out behind you, or if you're in your chair, it's out in front. You're gonna hold it there. If you're in your chair, this is where you're holding it out in front of you. If you're on the floor, go ahead and bend your knee so your foot is facing up towards the ceiling. Like you're gonna stand in the ceiling, and then just a few times we're gonna kick the ceiling. So push that foot towards the ceiling. 3, 2, 1, and straighten that leg out behind you. And bring that knee back underneath. We just worked really hard here. So from either our downward dog or our tabletop, we're gonna push our hips back and sit on our heels for a couple breaths. You can rest your forehead down on the mat. If you're in your chair, you might come and rest your torso on your knees, but we're just gonna come into child's pose for a few breaths here. Good. That should feel good, stretching out the back of our glutes here. And when you're ready, crawl yourself forward. Just go ahead and slide down onto your belly. If you're in your chair, go ahead and just sit back up straight. And we're gonna come all the way onto our belly. If you're on your mat, bring your legs out straight behind you. Bring your arms out straight in front of you. And again, if you're in your chair, sitting up nice and straight. And go ahead and lift your left arm up off the ground. Good, and lift your right arm up off the ground. Good, and set those down. Lift one leg up off the ground. I'm gonna lift my left leg up just to see how that feels and set it down. I'm gonna lift my right leg off the ground just for a second and set it down. So from here, you can keep your neck lifted if you would like, or you can rest your forehead on the ground and listen to my words. And if you're in your chair, you're simply lifting your arms and legs out in front of you or up ahead with the same directions. But I'd like us to, again, resting your forehead on the mat, if that feels good, or keeping your neck up. Go ahead and lift both arms, keeping the rest of the body on the ground. We're gonna lift both arms, and that's gonna be really, really strong and steady in our backs. And we're gonna hold this for 3, 2, 1, and set it down. Great. And let's do it again. So lifting just both arms up off the ground. The whole arm is off the ground. For 3, 2, 1, and setting it down. Good. And if you're in your chair, you might lift your arms straight ahead, or you might lift them overhead if that feels best. And we're gonna work our legs now. So keeping our bellies, keeping maybe our heads to the ground if that feels good, or you can have your head up. We're gonna lift our legs now. So right now, the tops of our feet and the front of our legs are all touching the floor. We're gonna, again, work out our backs right now. So start to lift the tops of your feet off the floor, nice straight legs. Lift the fronts of your shins off the floor. Your knees are gonna come off the floor. See if your thighs start to come up off the floor a little bit. And hold for 3, 2, 1, and set them down. You should feel that in the glutes, in the back of your legs, and the lower back. And let's do that again. So keeping the whole rest of the body on the floor, go ahead and lift both legs up, nice and straight. So the top of our leg, the front of our shins, maybe the knees and the calves are also off the floor. Hold steady for 3, 2, 1, and set it down. And we're gonna do that, put it all together a few times. So our backs are gonna be super steady right now. So if this ever feels like too much, you can set maybe both knees or both hands back down, but we're gonna try and challenge ourselves. So on an inhale, go ahead and lift the arms and the legs up off the ground. So it's just our bellies and the front of our hips on the ground. So we're gonna hold this for 3, 2, 1, and set them down. They don't need to come up that much, just a couple inches is great. And again, we're gonna lift up, lift the arms, lift the legs. Hold here for 3, 2, 1, and set it down. We're gonna do that just one more time. I'm gonna see if we can go a little bit higher than we've been going. So ready on an inhale, coming up, lifting the legs, lifting the arms, coming up maybe a little higher than we did before. Challenging ourselves here for 3, 2, 1, and instead of breathing down, you might bring your hands under your forehead and just let your forehead come down to the mat. Taking a couple breaths here. We're gonna start to cool our bodies down a bit. And then when you're ready, lifting the head back up, go ahead and put the hands back under the shoulders, or if you're in your chair, sitting up straight. And then go ahead and push the arms up. So you're gonna just arch the back a little bit here into our cobra pose. That should feel pretty good. And then when you're ready, we're gonna come pushing back through our tabletop position. And take a little cat-cow here. So go ahead and inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart. You might look up. And then exhale, round the spine, push the floor away for our cow pose. That should feel really nice. And back into neutral tabletop position. So from here, go ahead and walk your hands back in towards your knees. And we're gonna come back into our kneeling position. We're sitting up straight in our chair. And then go ahead and lean over to one side. And we're just gonna let our legs come out in front, but we're gonna bring them as wide as feels comfortable. So your legs might be pretty close together, or they might be super wide apart like you're about to do the splits, or they might be more likely somewhere in between. There's no right or wrong position. You want to feel a little bit of a stretch in the hips here. We're going to start to cool our bodies down. And if you're in your chair, same thing. Your legs are just out in front of you. You're going to want your blocks as a place to put your hands. Go ahead and inhale the arms out and up above the head. And exhale, just let the hands fall as we lean forward. And you might be almost sitting up straight. You might be like where your whole torso is on the ground. If you're super flexible. You might be somewhere in the middle like me. Again, there's no right way to be. And then very slowly, go ahead and walk your hands over to one side, towards one leg. Pretend like you could pull your chin sort of towards that knee, just gently. You want to feel a stretch, but it shouldn't hurt. And releasing there. And go ahead and walk your hands out the other way to the other side. And you might feel like you're pulling your shin sort of towards that knee. For most of us, it's not actually going to come close at all, but that's the direction we want to go. And then walking back up through the center. Go ahead and walk your hands back in. And go ahead and bring the bottoms of your feet to the ground. And bring your hands behind you so that your fingertips are pointing towards your feet. And we're going to bring our feet a little wider than our hips. So if you're in your chair, you're sitting up straight, your feet are on the ground, and you're holding the bottom of your chair, because we're going to lift our bottoms up off the chair or off the mat. And we're just going to do this 3 times with our breath. So go ahead and inhale, lifting the bottom up, and we're going to be in a reverse tabletop position. So about as straight as you want to be in the torso. And exhale, let it down. Good, let's do 2 more. Inhaling the hips up towards the ceiling. And exhaling, let it down. You can do that a 3rd time, or if you want a little bit of a challenge, you can stick the legs straight out in front of you and come up onto your heels as you lift into a reverse plank. And set it down. Good, it looks like we have time for some ab work. So come back up to sitting up straight and bring the soles of your feet to the floor. Your hands should be just on your sides here. And then go ahead and let your hands come out in front of you so your palms are facing each other. And if you're in the chair, same thing, sitting up straight, feet on the floor. And then go ahead and lift one foot up off the floor. It might come all the way in line with your hands, or it might just be a little bit off the floor here. And then lift the other foot off the floor and set them both down. And again, just lifting one foot off the floor, lifting the other foot off the floor, and set them back down. And lift one foot off the floor again, lift the other foot, keep both feet off the floor, maybe lift them a little bit higher, as high as it feels good for you. See if we can stay nice and straight through the back. Oh, that's difficult. You might bring a toe down if that feels better. But see if we can stay in our boat pose for 3, 2, 1. And let the feet come down. Bring the hands out behind you or down to the sides of your chair to hold steady. And from here, bring the feet out a little bit wider than the hips and just let the knees fall over to one side. So we're just in a little bit of a seated spinal twist here. And then bring the knees back up to center and let them fall over to the other side. And bring them back up through center, over to one side, and just move on your own. This is gonna feel like a little bit of a massage on the glute muscles, as we just worked those a lot. So we're just stretching out the back. Back did a lot of work. The whole backs of our bodies really did a lot of work. So just move side to side as it feels good for you. A few more times. Good. And then coming back up to center. And go ahead and wrap your arms around your feet. So if you're in your chair, you might bring your feet to standing on the blocks if that feels good for you, or you might bring your feet all the way up to the chair. But just go ahead and give yourself a really sweet hug. And curl in. thank yourself for taking the time to do yoga today. We're going to end with just a few minutes of relaxation together. So as you let go of your nice self hug, you might just straighten right back onto your mat or carpet or your space here and relax back down if that feels good. If it feels better with the knees bent and feet wide and knees knocked in together and that feels good, try that. If you're in your chair, you might lay back in your chair, or you might grab a pillow of some kind and hold on to that. But just go ahead and take a few moments to find a really cozy, comfortable seated or laying down position that feels good for you and your body. And you might close your eyes if that feels okay, but you can always keep them open. And relax the gaze and feel all of that positive energy floating around the room that we pulled in from the universe in the beginning of our class. And we'll just do a brief loving kindness meditation. So let your breath soften, let your muscles soften. You might just kind of feel like you're melting down into the floor, or if you're in your chair, kind of over your pillow. But find yourself a position where you can really relax. And I want you to shift your attention inward to your own basic goodness. You might think of a time where you were really kind to someone else. Maybe you're kind all the time. But I want you to just think about the fact that you're a really nice person and you deserve all the good feelings that life has to offer. So sit with that for just a moment. And then I want you to say, either out loud or just with the voice in your head, these words. Say, may I be happy, healthy, and surrounded by love. May I be happy, healthy, and surrounded by love. You can say it out loud or you can say it in your head, whatever you prefer. And then we're going to shift our attention to someone that you care about very much. It could be a family member or a friend, maybe your dog, someone that you just love so much. And I want you to say that person's name in your head or out loud and say, may they be happy, healthy, and surrounded by love. And just really wish good thoughts towards them. And then go ahead and bring to mind someone that you don't know very well. It could be someone that you saw dancing today that you're not really very friendly with. Maybe you haven't hung out with them before. Or it could be someone like a neighbor, someone you don't know very well. And I want you to think to yourself, may that person be happy. May they be healthy. May they be surrounded by love. And then for the last time, we're going to expand our minds into thinking of everyone in the world. So everyone who we know, everyone we don't know, everyone here in our community tonight and beyond. And I want you to think, may everyone be happy, healthy, and surrounded by love. And take a few moments here, just radiating your own beautiful compassion and goodness out into the world. And just a couple more breaths. And when you feel ready, start to wiggle your fingers on your toes, maybe stretch your arms out overhead. And we're going to come back into a seated position, however that feels comfortable for you, either in your chair or on your mat, in your space. Just come to a nice, comfortable seat. And one last deep breath together. So inhaling the arms out and up, reaching up super high. Palms come to touch. Hands come down slowly towards your heart as we breathe out. Thank you so much for doing yoga with me, everybody. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. It's an honor to have you back here, and hopefully we'll see you in the other workouts in this winter challenge series. Thank you so much.